And welcome back, and it's the Corbett 5 a day higher plus, and let's go with the first question. I should have said it's the 7th of March, but I'm sure you know that. Anyway, first question. A solid wooden sphere has radius 5.97, work out an estimate. Right, so this is one of these maths words, like the word similar. It means a certain thing, and I will say different teachers do sometimes say slightly different things here. So there is some flex in the mark scheme as to what you're supposed to do, but generally what we say is we round the number. So in this case the radius is 5.97. we tend to round it to one significant figure, so we're going to approximate the radius by saying the radius is 6 centimeters. And then it says, can you work out the volume of this sphere? Give your answer in terms of pi. I've got my radius is 6, the volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi times r cubed. I'm going to presume this is a non-calculator paper, because typically that's when you see these sorts of questions. So put my 6 in, so that's going to be 4/3 times by pi times by 6 cubed, which I'm going to say is 36 times 6, and you'll see why in a second, because in an attempt to try and simplify this slightly, I'm going to divide that by 3, divide that by 3, which gives me 2 up here, and then I've got, or 36 times 2 is going to be 72. I'm going to have to work this out over here, aren't I? And 72 times 4 is going to be 8, 28, 288. So my final answer is going to be 288 pi. Strange question, but we got there. Key point is the word estimate, one sig fig, put your answer accordingly. Next question. Is this the same sphere? Yes, I think it is. The sphere has a mass of 1002 grams. Bruno wants to work out a density in its okay, I thought it was going to be a balance question, but it's not. Okay, these questions come up every now and then. So what you need to know is density is equal to mass over volume. And then what Bruno's doing is Bruno's rounding down his volume from 1002 to 1000. So therefore my mass is going down. And my volume, which is based on a radius of 6, so in other words, I'm reading this point here, which is 6, but it's actually 5.97. So its radius has gone up, which means its volume's gone up, which means whichever way you look at it, I'm going to underestimate my density. So the answer is, the question says, is his answer under or overestimate? It's an underestimate. And the reason why, well, it's always difficult to know exactly what to say here, but the reason why is he's rounded his mass down and his volume has gone up. Obviously, I'd write actual words if this was an exam, but I'm just referring to the fact I recognise that numerator's gone down and denominator's gone up. Next question. 260 people are sitting a driving test. The results are shown in this histogram. So it's a histogram. 10% of people scored less than X marks. Find an estimate of X. Now, I've done this sort of thing before. I'm going to do it again now, because although I kind of guess this is going to work, I don't, if this was an exam, real marks, I don't think I'd trust the frequency density, because it might be a scaling question. So really quickly, I'm just going to work all these frequencies out. So this first bar here is 30 across and 2 high. So in other words, the frequency within this is 60. Similarly, this next bar is 20 across and 2.6 high. So that's going to be 52. This next bar is also 20 across and it's 3.4 high, so that's going to be 68. This next bar also 20 across and this is 2.5 high, so that'd be easier, that's 50. And this final bar is 30 across and it is 1 high, so actually that's quite straightforward, so it's 30. So calculator out quickly, I'm going to add these frequencies up. So 60 plus 52 plus 68 plus 50 plus 30 does indeed give me 260. So I didn't actually have to do that, but I'm a bit happier now that I know these bars represent what I think they represent. Then from the question, 10% of people scored less than X. Okay, so I want to know where the 10% of 260, I want to know where the 26th person is. Now that 26th person is going to be in this block here, and they're going to be 26th 60ths, because there's 60 people in the block away along, and the block itself has 30 marks, as in 0 to 30. So therefore, calculator out 26 over 60 times 30, and that's going to give me 13, or X is equal to 13, I should say. Is that right? Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Because there's 60 people, 26 is about halfway along, the 0 to 30, halfway is about 15. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Next question. 5% of people scored more than Y marks. Fine. Okay. Right. First of all, so 5% of 260 is going to give me, well, that's 13 people. So that's 13 people this way, if you look at my diagram, which means if I'm going to do the same calculation, I need to go 17 people, in other words, 30 minus 17 this way. So therefore, the number of marks is going to be 17/30th of the way across, because there's 30 people in that box overall, times the width of the box, which is also 30, so that's just 17. Add on the initial value of the box, which is 90, so that's just going to be 90 plus 17, which is going to be 107 marks. Again, quick sanity check. So 13 is about halfway along. About halfway along is about 105 or something, isn't it? So yeah, that seems about right. I'm happy with that. That sounds good. 107 marks. Next question. Okay, so what do we have? I think this is just a straightforward simultaneous equation, is it? So I'm going to start off by saying that x is equal to 3 minus 2y. Now, space might be an issue here, but I can go elsewhere outside the box. So let's not try and squish it in too much. Usual thing, it is what's known as a non-linear simultaneous equation. So I'm going to take my linear equation, which is this one here, and I'm going to put it into my non-linear equation, which is this equation here. Non-linear because it has squares and combinations of x and y's within it. So if I rewrite equation 2, so equation 2 is going to become x squared, which is 3 minus 2y squared, plus 3x, which is 3 minus 2y, times y, and I'm going to move the 10 across, so minus 10 is equal to 0. And then I need to basically expand and tidy this up. So let's zoom in so I can do this carefully. So that's going to give me 9, so I'm expanding the brackets. 3 times minus 2 is minus 6, double that is minus 12y, plus 4y squared, plus 3 times y is 9y. I have to be very careful with that because I'm multiplying 3 things together. 3 times minus 2 is minus 6 times y is minus 6y squared. Wow, this isn't fun, is it? And then minus 10 at the end is equal to 0. Right, now collect. Now, if you see my other videos, I like to tick these off. So 4y minus 6y is minus 2y squared. Minus 12y plus 9y is minus 3y. I think I know what's going to happen here. And 9 minus 10 is minus 1, and that's equal to 0. Now, look at what I'm doing here in the sense that I'm starting with an equation which is all negatives. I'm multiplying everything by minus 1, which makes it all plus 1. To be clear, I'm actually multiplying everything, including the 0, by minus 1. I can't just do one side of the equation, but happy with that. Everything's now positive, which means I can now factorise this down to 2y plus 1 and y plus 1. So quick check. So expand that, 2y squared plus 2y plus y plus y. Yeah, that works. Which means that y is equal to minus a half, or y is equal to minus 1. Now, if y is equal to minus 1, I'm going to put it back into this equation here. So minus 2 times minus 1 is 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. So this means that x is equal to 5. So my first answer is going to be the coordinate 5 minus 1. Let's do this one now. So minus a half. So minus 2 times minus a half is plus 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. So that means that x equals 4, which means my other answer is going to be 4 minus a half. And that's it. Wow. Good mix of questions today. Definitely jump in difficulty to what we've seen recently. But either way, let me know how you did, especially on that actually, no, all of the questions. I think they're all sort of unique questions in their own way. But let me know how you did. As ever, do like, subscribe. Really helps me, helps the channel, and I'll be very grateful. But either way, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks all.